over with the three newest crew members of the International Space Station, NASA's Chris Williams, Sergei Kud-Sverchkov, and Sergei Mikaev, who launched on Thanksgiving Day from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, arriving at the space station after a two-orbit journey of just over 3 hours in duration. That occurred 11 days ago. With the handover complete, Kim, Ryzhikov, and Zabritsky are about to depart the International Space Station on their way back to Earth. We are just minutes away from coming on board the International Space Station in the Prishal module for brief farewells between the departing crew members and the other crew members remaining on board the station, now led by NASA Commander Mike Fink, who took over command of the International Space Station in a change of command ceremony on Sunday morning. We'll be replaying that change of command ceremony in just a few minutes. Fink, along with his NASA crewmates Zena Cardman and Chris Williams, Kimi Ayui of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and Kud-Sverchkov, Mikaev, and Oleg Platonov are the 7 crew members who will remain on board the International Space Station once the undocking takes place. That undocking again scheduled at 7:41 and 30 seconds p.m. Central Time, 8:41 p.m. Eastern Time. At the time of undocking, Expedition 73 will come to an end, and as you can see in the crew patch at the bottom of your screen, Expedition 74 will formally begin. The International Space Station currently flying 262 statute miles over the South Atlantic, about to begin a southwest to northeasterly trajectory in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator.
Removed okay, we removed the unit 2 and we performed 2.4.3. 2.4.10. We have moved everything. And we put the KSS in the prime mode, and KSP is also ready.
You're hearing the interpreted conversation between Russian flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov outside of Moscow. There's a view, a live balcony view of that cavernous control center just outside of Moscow. They are in control of all of the operations for tonight's undocking, entry, and landing to the steppe of Kazakhstan.
It's done.
In Kazakhstan, a NASA team of support personnel embedded with the Russian Rosaviatsia search and recovery forces are in Zhezkazgan, Kazakhstan. The NASA team arrived in Karaganda, the prime staging city, on Saturday afternoon, and then a half dozen NASA support personnel flew on an Antonov 26 aircraft from Karaganda to Zhezkazgan, a forward staging point just about 91 miles to the northwest of the landing site itself. They are spending the night there. They'll be moving to the Zhezkazgan airfield a short time from now and await word on boarding a series of helicopters that will ultimately arrive in the vicinity of the landing zone to begin the recovery of the crew. It is, as you would expect for a December evening and morning, in the Central Asian area. It's quite cold. The temperatures are about 22 degrees Fahrenheit with snow flurries. That temperature is expected to drop into the high teens at the time of landing for Kim, Ryzhikov, and Zabritsky. Again, that landing to take place at 10:03 and 55 seconds a.m. Kazakhstan time on Tuesday morning. Once the landing occurs, the 3 crew members will be extracted from their descent module, the center section of the 3-section Soyuz spacecraft, the only section that survives the heat of reentry thanks to its heat shield. The 3 crew members will be placed in chairs for a few minutes to begin to regain a sense of equilibrium based on Earth's gravity before they're brought into a nearby inflatable medical tent to get out of their Sokol launch and entry suits, get into more comfortable clothing, warm clothing, no doubt. They'll ultimately be placed in 3 helicopters, one for each crew member, and flown about 2 hours from the landing site back to Karaganda, where Johnny Kim will board a NASA aircraft for the flight back to the Johnson Space Center, and the 2 Russian cosmonauts, Ryzhikov and Zabritsky, will board a Gagarin cosmonaut training aircraft for their flight back to their training base in Star City, Russia, just outside of Moscow. Once again, we're just a few minutes away from coming on board the Prishal module for a ceremonial farewell, if you will, as the 3 departing crew members have one final opportunity to say goodbye to their crewmates, and then they'll float inside of the hatchway to the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft. Once the hatch is closed, the Soyuz crew members on their side of the hatch interface and the space station crew will begin a series of leak checks on both sides of the interface to ensure that we have a tight seal before the small vestibule or passageway between Prishal and Soyuz is depressurized down to vacuum to set the stage for the actual undocking itself. Undocking scheduled again at 7:41 and 30 seconds p.m. Central Time, 8:41 p.m. Eastern Time. During the course of their time on orbit, 2 of the 3 crew members who are leaving the station this evening, Sergei Ryzhikov and Alexei Zabritsky, conducted a pair of spacewalks totaling 13 hours and 3 minutes. The crew, including Johnny Kim, of course, and the other station crew members, saw the arrival of 9 visiting vehicles and the departure of 6 visiting vehicles during their 245 days in space and aboard the International Space Station. To set the stage for you for the rest of this evening, once we complete the hatch closure, we will sign off for a short period of time while the departing Soyuz crew runs through their procedures of leak checks, communications checks. They'll be donning their Sokol launch and entry suits. We will be back on the air on NASA Plus at 7:15 p.m. Central Time, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, for our undocking coverage, and then our third and final broadcast of the night will get underway at 9:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the deorbit burn, entry, landing, and all things being equal, video from the landing site through the time the crew is brought into that nearby medical tent, at which point we will sign off for the night. A good view of the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft. That's the ride home today for Kim, Ryzhikov, and Zabritsky. At the top of your screen is the instrumentation and propulsion module, and now we are inside the Prishal. As we stand by for continuous video inside, I believe they're just testing out the camera at this point. At the top of your screen is the instrumentation and propulsion module. The crew rides home in the center section called the descent module. The Soyuz commander, Sergei Ryzhikov, will be in the center seat. To his left will be board engineer number 1. That is Alexei Zabritsky, and Johnny Kim, board engineer number 2, will be in the right seat, just to the right of Ryzhikov. At the very bottom of your screen, just attached to Prishal, that is the orbital module. Basically, if you look at it flipped orientation, that would be at the very top, a bulbous module. Those 3 sections pyrotechnically separate from one another. The separation of the modules takes place about 24 minutes after the deorbit burn and about 3 minutes before the vehicle enters the Earth's atmosphere, with the descent module's heat shield pointed in the direction of travel to repel temperatures that will build up to about 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit around the spacecraft. As you saw a brief glimpse a moment or two ago of the crew members gathering in the passageway at the Prishal module, which is the multi-hatched node module attached to the Naoka multipurpose laboratory module on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. The crew members will say farewell to one another. Johnny Kim, Sergei Ryzhikov, Alexei Zabritsky will then float through the hatchway, close the hatch behind them, and the hatch on the station side of the docking interface will also be closed by the station crew. Leak checks will be conducted on both sides of the interface to make sure we have a tight seal prior to the time that that passageway is depressurized down to vacuum. That will initiate the undocking procedures. An undocking command will be issued at 7:40 p.m. Central Time, 8:40 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be about a 90-second procedure to open up the hooks holding the Soyuz to Prishal at the docking interface. At 7:41 and 30 seconds p.m., 8:41 and 30 seconds p.m. Eastern Time, Springs on both sides of the docking interface will push off against one another, and we will have physical separation. At that point, Expedition 73 will be in the history books. Expedition 74 will get underway in earnest. Once again, you see the crew now gathered, all 10 of them, in the passageway. And actually, for this, they've changed up the script just a little bit. This is in the Zvezda service module, where you're accustomed to seeing welcoming ceremonies take place. So they'll obviously offer a few words before Ryzhikov in the white shirt, Johnny Kim on the far right of your screen, and Alexei Zabritsky on the left of your screen, front row, will then make their way into Prishal's passageway to say farewell and move through the Soyuz hatchway.
Рады видеть всех на борту российского сегмента. Ну что, Сереж, приступим? Приступим. Перво-наперво, от лица всего ЦУПа, руководства и всех сотрудников хочу поблагодарить за вашу работу в течение почти 8 месяцев, за ваше терпение. И, конечно,
So grateful for all your patience.
Вам желаем доброго пути домой и до скорой встречи.
And of course, Sergei, we wish you a soft landing and hope to see you very soon on the ground.
Спасибо, Михаил.
Mikhail, thanks a lot to you and to the whole MCC,
Нашим партнерам, коллегам.
national partners and our colleagues and all those who are involved in the ISS program.
Days on the ISS and see you on the ground. Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank all the mission controls, MCC Moscow, MCC Houston, Huntsville, Munich, Tsukuba, each and every specialist who's been working with us during these 8 months, everyone who trained us for this mission. We hope we justified your choice, who have been supporting us and who are going to support us as we return on Earth. All the Roscosmos operations, thank you to everyone who participates in piloted spaceflight program. Thank you very much and see you on the ground.
Flying space, being up here with this crew has been one of the greatest privileges of my life. They've become my family away from my family, and I can't thank the international centers, SUP, Moscow, Houston, Tsukuba, Huntsville, Munich, all the controllers who've worked 24/7 to support us. It means so much, and let's continue doing what we do for space exploration.
I'd like to add a few words. Thank you to the entire crew, to those who stay on board the space station. Expedition 74, safe continuation of flight, execution of all the tasks, and happy and safe return to the ground, home. Thank you. One more time, thank you so very much for your kind words. Johnny said, big family, so let it always be this way. One more time, congratulations to Mikaev for assuming the commandment of the space station. One more time, thanks. And then let's wrap it up here. And let's proceed to our main activities. Sergei Kud-Sverchkov is going to close the hatches after you are back in your Soyuz vehicle. Let's go ahead. Copy. In work. Thank you. Thank you. All the very best to you.
Echoing many of the words that they said yesterday during a change of command ceremony, the crew members, particularly Kim, Ryzhikov, and Zabritsky, will now move toward the Prishal module passageway and begin to say farewell for one final time to the remaining crew members who will stay aboard the station, led by the new station commander, NASA's Mike Fink. Countdown clocks here in Mission Control ticking backward toward the undocking of the Soyuz MS-27 from the Prishal module some 3.5 hours from now. Again, once Kim, Ryzhikov, and Zabritsky make their way inside Soyuz and close the hatch, they'll conduct leak checks. They'll begin to don their Sokol launch and entry suits, receive updated landing information from the Russian flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow, and set the stage for the commands that will open up the hooks holding the Soyuz to Prishal and the physical separation of the vehicle at 7:41 and 30 seconds p.m. Central Time, 8:41 and 30 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. The deorbit burn itself, this is a retrograde maneuver of 4 minutes and 42 seconds in duration to slow the Soyuz down by 128 meters per second, is scheduled at 10:09 and 46 seconds p.m. Central Time, 11:09 and 46 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. That deorbit burn will enable the Soyuz to slowly drop out of the grasp of low Earth orbit and begin its high-speed entry back into the Earth's atmosphere. Some 24 minutes after the completion of the deorbit burn, automatic commands will trigger pyrotechnics that will separate the three sections of the Soyuz vehicle. That will occur at an altitude of about 86.8 miles in altitude. 3 minutes after the module separation, the entry of the vehicle, that's the descent module, the center section of the Soyuz, which will be flying in the direction of travel with the heat shield in the direction of travel, will hit the Earth's atmosphere, traveling at high speed with temperatures building around that heat shield of some 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. There will be an entry into a plasma regime where the repelling of the heat around the spacecraft will create a plasma shield that could prevent any communications of any meaningful sort from the Soyuz back to the Russian flight controllers in Korolyov. The plasma regime should last about 5 minutes in duration. Once the vehicle exits the plasma time frame, they'll be reaching the maximum G loads on their bodies, Kim, Ryzhikov, and Zabritsky, 4 to 5 Gs at an altitude of about 109,000 feet. Some 2 minutes after that, the command will be issued to open up the chutes on the vehicle. First drogue chutes, then the main parachute at an altitude of some 34,000 feet. From that point on, it's about 15 minutes till touchdown, with landing scheduled at 11:03 and 55 seconds p.m. Central Time, 12:03 and 55 seconds a.m. Tuesday Eastern Time, 10:03 and 55 seconds a.m. at the landing site in Kazakhstan, which is about 91 miles to the southeast of the forward staging town of Zhezkazgan. That landing to occur some 2 hours and 6 minutes after sunrise at the landing site. The International Space Station is flying from southwest to northeast over the Indian Ocean, just to the northwest of the continent of Australia. All of the space station systems are in good shape. No issues being worked by the remaining crew members, the 7 crew members who will remain on station as Expedition 74, led by the new station commander, Mike Fink of NASA. There's our view of the hatchway to Soyuz MS-27 through the Prashal node module. Fink remains on board with Zena Cardman, Chris Williams of NASA, Kimiya Yui of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergei Kud-Sverchkov, Sergei Mikaev, and Oleg Platonov. Just a couple of minutes from now, you'll be seeing the crew members gathering right there at the hatchway of the interface between the Soyuz MS-27 that you see inside the hatchway itself and the Prashal node module hatch that you see swung open there. The Soyuz, a few minutes ago, was placed on autonomous power, having received station power through the Russian segment of the complex for the past 8 months since its docking to Prashal. To recap the post-landing operations, the NASA support team that flew on a NASA Gulfstream jet to Karaganda, Kazakhstan over the weekend, half a dozen of those NASA support people flew on an Antonov 26 fixed-wing aircraft along with members of the Rosaviatsa search and recovery forces from Karaganda to Zhezkazgan in the wee hours U.S. time this morning. They have overnighted in Zhezkazgan and soon will be making their way to the Zhezkazgan airfield to board helicopters for about a 30-minute ride to the landing site itself. There are 6 Russian Mi-8 helicopters and 4 all-terrain vehicles, along with an Antonov 26 fixed-wing aircraft that serves as a flying data relay station to relay voice and telemetry from Soyuz back to the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov outside of Moscow. The helicopters will arrive at the landing site in conjunction with the arrival of the Soyuz itself under its parachute, basically flying in an oval-shaped racetrack configuration until the Soyuz touches down, at which point those helicopters will land one by one in rapid-fire sequential fashion to make their way to the spacecraft. The Energia recovery personnel making sure that the vehicle is safe before they begin the extraction of the crew from their respective seats in the descent module of the Soyuz capsule. While we wait to see the crew there at the hatchway to the Soyuz spacecraft here in Mission Control in Houston, the oncoming flight control team has completed a handover from the daytime shift, if you will. The flight director who's on console at this hour is Heidi Brewer, that you see in the middle of your screen. At the bottom of your screen, to her left, is Flight Director Garrett Hain, and to her right is European Space Agency astronaut Luca Parmitano, no stranger to Soyuz operations, who will be talking to the station crew if and when required throughout the course of the evening. And now we're seeing crew members gathering at the hatchway to the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft. This will be one final opportunity for the departing crew, NASA's Johnny Kim, and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergei Ryzhikov and Alexei Zabritsky to say farewell to the remaining crew members on board the station. You see Mike Fink of NASA, the new station commander, on the right side of your screen. Sergei Kud-Sverchkov has his back to the camera. Oleg Platonov is in front of him. And Sergei Ryzhikov shaking hands with Mike Fink. Ryzhikov had been the commander of Expedition 73 before handing the key to the spacecraft to Fink yesterday in the change of command ceremony that we will be replaying a short time from now. Here's Chris Williams of NASA. And final photos being taken as the Soyuz crew has made their way in to their returning spacecraft. Once the hatches are closed on both sides of the docking interface, the Soyuz crew and the station crew will respectively conduct leak checks over the course of the next hour and a half to make sure we have a tight seal. And there goes the Prishal hatch being closed. The Soyuz hatch will be closed momentarily. Once those leak checks are complete, the vestibule, the small passageway, will be depressurized between Soyuz and Prishal in preparation for the actual physical separation of Soyuz from the Prishal node module on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment. Kud-Sverchkov is now making sure that the Prishal node module hatch is securely sealed. And you're looking at the new station commander, Mike Fink of NASA. Kim, Zabritsky, and Ryzhikov, now on the other side of that hatchway, will be donning their Sokol launch and entry suits a short time from now, conducting leak checks of the suits themselves and communications checks, as well as ensuring that all of the Soyuz systems and cockpit controls are configured properly in advance of undocking. That is scheduled about 3 hours and 10 minutes from now.
Фаворы по Москве, канале СГ-2.
Фаворы, Moscow on SG-2.
МКС. Да, Сергей. Фаворы на связи.
Moscow Station, this is Faravar. We close the hatch at 1:30. Could you repeat, please?
Еще раз.
Come again.
Все забрали из орбитального блока вправо. Форма 2314, запас пищи.
Did you take everything from the ISS to Soyuz? Yes, we did.
Фаворы, начинаем подготовку закрытия крышек ОБСУ и БВСУ по странице 29, шаг 3.2, шаг 3.2.
Let's proceed to page 29, item 3.2, closing ISS to vestibule hatches and BOO to vestibule hatches. And please provide running commentary. Copy in work. It's above the handle.
This is Mission Control Houston. A confirmation from the Russian flight controllers that the Soyuz hatch closed at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, about 1 minute after the hatch on the Prishal node module closed. So Soyuz hatch close is complete, again at 4:30 p.m. Central, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Check that the PEV valve is...
You will be hearing the Russian flight controllers call Sergei Ryzhikov and his crewmates aboard Soyuz with the call sign of Favor, spelled just like favor. That is a Ryzhikov's selection for a call sign for his vehicle, which references a mountain range in Russia.
And vestibule is closed.
So with that, the hatch closing is complete following final farewells between the departing crew and the remaining crew on board the International Space Station.
Copy all, favore. Continue on page 32. Copy page 32. Page 32 is complete.
Продолжайте по 33 работать.
Continue to page 33. Copy page 33.
This is Mission Control in Houston with the hatch closing now complete on the Soyuz MS-27. It's probably a good moment here to go back in time to Sunday morning when the crew members gathered in the Kibo module of the International Space Station for a traditional change of command ceremony in which Roscosmos cosmonaut Sergei Ryzhikov handed over command of the International Space Station to NASA's Mike Fink. Let's take a look at the replay of yesterday's change of command ceremony.
Yes, we are ready for the event. Thank you. Dear friends and colleagues, Expedition 73 on ISS is coming to the end. We spent 8 amazing months on board station, and we complete flight program. We celebrated many significant dates and events, starting from Easter, then 80th anniversary of Great Victory, 50th anniversary of first international space flight under Apollo Soyuz program, and 25 years of flying ISS on manned mode. All these times, our crew has been working as a great team, friendly team. Everyone was shown best example, best qualities to achieve a common result, and we are happy to be a part of this great team. We are being replaced by guys who also well known, and we confident that the work on the station will continue on the best traditions. We know Michael, he's so experienced, and according to the tradition, I would like to say thank you all ground support team, our relatives, friends, and colleagues in training and control centers around the world. And let's start handover and perform the tradition. I'm going to give Michael the crew from station. Please keep it. Keep yourself, your crew, on station. We need it. And may I hand over microphone to Michael King. Oh, Michael Think. Sorry.
Sergei Nikolaevich, thank you. Thank you for your leadership, your professionalism, and thank you to you and to Johnny and Alexei for bringing out the best of the rest of our crew. Not just in the friendly nature of working together as we have, this has been a great crew altogether, but also in how we've worked really well with our friends on the ground. And so thank you to the ground, all the ground teams in Moscow and Houston and Huntsville and Scuba and Munich for all of your great support for this Expedition 73. For Expedition 74, my goals are simple for the crew, is that we take care of each other, we take care of this great International Space Station, and we continue working well with our ground teams. We would like to show this example of what humans have been doing aboard the International Space Station, working together for these past 25 years. And with that, it's a big honor. I'm going to count on all of you for your kind support, but I accept the command of the International Space Station, and thank you for your trust. And now, I'm commander, and my first thing to do is to celebrate something. Today is the anniversary, 60th anniversary of Gemini 7. And that was a big deal for the American space program. They were going to go on a really long duration mission of 14 days. And amongst us here, we have a man who's flown for 600 days in space. And Sergei Nikolaevich, I would like to present on behalf of all of your friends, your family on board, the 600-day patch. Congratulations. You stand a very few humans. You float as very few humans for having such experience. I look up to you, and I think we all very much appreciate everything that you have shown us along the way. Thank you very much.
And if you don't mind,
Sergei, пожалуйста.
I forget the unofficial sign of your commander. It's a crown. So would you like?
Thank you very much. I'd like to pass over the microphone to our newest crewmates and work our way to Johnny and Alexei at the end. These are really emotional times for all of us. It's our official, not goodbye, but dos vidanias.
Sergei, Alexei, Johnny, it's been a real privilege flying with you. We got to know you guys as backups, and it's been wonderful spending this time here on the ISS with you. You guys have set an example for how we want to complete the rest of our expedition. So thank you and safe travels.
You guys. Что я могу сказать? Я могу сказать вам только хорошая работа и встретимся в скором будущем на Земле.
And we're looking forward to working with such an amazing team. But for those guys who are coming back home, we know you as an excellent crew, and we waved your goodbye on Baikonur launch pad, and we saw you roaring into space, and now we have you here for a short period of time, just a handover, and we're happy having you here safe and sound, passing the entire expedition on a very high level, and we are being we will watching you coming back home, expecting your safe landing, and expedition is not over until you are home. So we will wait you being home with your relatives, families, and your friends. So it was an honor to fly with you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then Kimia and Zina-san.
Sergei-san, thank you very much for your great leadership. And Alexei-san, Johnny-san, I'm so happy to working with you. You guys actually showed us very great example and set great culture. So we're gonna actually take over and follow that example. I feel a little bit, feels a little bit sad, but yeah. I just want to say thank you very much. Спасибо, безопасного пути.
Johnny, my classmate, my friend, we interviewed together. It's just unbelievable to share this with you. Thank you so much to all of you. It's going to be so hard to say goodbye, but I'm excited for this chapter ahead. And Mike, I know you're going to be excellent as our station commander. We are in good hands.
Sergei, Johnny, and Alexei, thank you very much for working together. It was incredible time for everybody and especially for me. And we did great work on the station. And I would like to wish you a safety trip to home and soft landing. And thank you for everything. And Michael, let me congratulate you with new commander of ISS and your most experienced astronaut on the ISS. And Sergei, the same words, congratulate you with 600 days on space. And now I'm going to pass microphone to Mike.
And we will give it to Alexeychka. Let's go, Shki.
Let's go, Shki. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so proud to be part of this space friends, space family on board the ISS, and I'm happy to be with you during these 8 months. I have not enough words for explaining my feeling, but I hope we continue our friendship together on the ground. And I want to say to Expedition 74, have a good flight, and I will miss you. Thank you all MCCs for support, and I so proud to be part of this expedition and to be part of ISS mission. Thank you so much.
Well said, Alexei. To my friends and brothers and sisters, we've done some amazing science. We've done a lot of memorable missions, but what I think I'm going to remember most is the bond that we shared together. And after having spent 8 months in space, I firmly believe that the greatest quality of an astronaut and a human is not technical competence or loyalty or any of the myriad other things that we like to ascribe to astronauts. It's love. I've said this before, and I firmly believe that love is the greatest thing an astronaut can have for each other and for the people that they work with and for our lovely planet. And I think that's what we accomplished here, is that we always gave each other grace and had so much love for each other and for the ground, for everyone that supports us. And I think that is what makes space exploration possible and human. And that was only possible because of the people on board. Sergei, thank you for your excellent leadership and for allowing us to live and lead our lives with love. And Mike, I know the crew is in good hands, because after getting to know you over the last 4 months, my brother, not only are you technically competent and have a lot of integrity, but most importantly, you have a lot of love in your heart for other people. And we're going to miss you a lot, and we look forward to seeing you back on the ground.
Well said, everybody.
Just be in the middle.
Shall we conclude the event? Okay. Houston, I think that concludes the event.
And we're back live. That was a replay of Sunday morning's change of command ceremony, in which Mike Fink of NASA took over command of the International Space Station from Sergei Ryzhikov, who had been the Expedition 73 commander. Meanwhile, on board, you're looking at the Soyuz MS-27 in the center of your screen, attached to the Prishal node module. Undocking is scheduled about 2 hours and 50 minutes from now. The 3 departing crew members, NASA's Johnny Kim, Ryzhikov, and Alexei Zabritsky of Roscosmos, are aboard Soyuz hatch. Both hatches have been closed on both sides of the docking interface. The Soyuz hatch closing at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as the 3 departing crew members are now preparing to conduct leak checks on their side of the docking interface, as is the station crew on the Prishal side of the docking interface. That will lead to the depressurization of the passageway between the 2 spacecraft and the eventual undocking itself. That is scheduled at 7:41 and 30 seconds p.m. Central Time, 8:41 and 30 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. By the way, the reference in the change of command ceremony